Yeah.
I don't like makeup.
I know.
Why do you do this?
I don't like how sad I look all the time.
You're gonna get nice and perky for the video?
Mm-hmm.
You think that's what people don't like about you in my videos? That you're just too sad? You think that's why people criticize me? Because you're so sad that they feel like...
I think it's part of it. And I think especially people who knew me before I met you, I think I wore a lot of makeup to hide that.
So now they think that you're sad because of me.
Right.
They don't understand how happy I make you.
Right. They don't understand me. No one fucking understands me.
Okay, so you've been pretty upset with me for the last few days because I said that you were my sex doll.
Right.
Do you want to talk? You want to tell people what happened?
Well, I think what happened was that you leapt into bed with me, gave me a little cuddle, and then said, "You're my real sex doll." And I was like, "No." And you were like, "Yes, you are." And I was like, well, no, I don't like that you're saying that. It's freaking me out. I think, I think that you may have done this in response to me saying I was a little bit like anxious and needed some reassurance about the sex doll. Is that true? Or was
Yeah.
I just thinking that?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, I think I was thinking that and I may have said it.
Well, I don't remember.
I don't like that though, because because I think although yes, because we're in a monogamous relationship, technically I am the only possible real sex doll. The implication is that I don't get to have any boundaries or set any limits,
You know
which
you know what it is?
makes me freak out. What?
It's not that you don't get to have any limits. It's that there's a limit to your limits.
Well, yeah. Come here, bud.
You have to have sex with me.
Mm-hmm.
Eventually.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think so, but is that true? You would just break up with me if I said we couldn't have sex anymore?
It's not that I would just break up with you. I just think our relationship would either change to a platonic relationship, in which case it would no longer be our relationship, or would fall apart somehow. But one way or the other, in order to keep our relationship...
Sex is essential.
In order to keep our relationship as a romantic relationship, you have to have sex with me.
Uh-huh.
Especially, I really don't, if I'm not allowed to have sex with anybody else, you can't just make me never have sex.
Right.
So you have to have sex with me. So you can have boundaries to a point. You can say no a certain number of times.
Yeah, but
You have to get me off.
yeah, and that's fine. But
No, you have to.
I know.
Okay.
But I just think that the implication of it is scary.
What's that?
Well, sex dolls get raped. They don't have any choice. They have no autonomy.
That's what I'm
they
saying.
just lie there.
Okay. I prefer it when you just lie there. And I think what I've discovered through this sex doll thing, I thought this was great. Because I know you get upset when I tell you to just lie there.
Sort of. Yes and no.
No. You get upset when I say just lie face down and don't move. You get upset.
Sort of. Yes and no.
What do you mean yes and no?
I mean, it's upsetting on the one hand. On the other hand...
I'm talking about the hand that it's upsetting on.
Okay.
Okay. Can I just talk
Go
without
ahead.
you trying to control what I'm saying?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. Can you not say go ahead? Can you just shut up and just let me talk? Even that is just annoying. I would just like to speak, and then when I'm done, then you can speak. Yeah, go ahead. Okay. I thought, well, since you get upset when I tell you to just lie there and not move, and the doll's going to do that anyway, it would be interesting to see what it's like for me to just fuck the doll. Because the doll always does what I want it to do. And, because I don't like it when you move when we're having sex. I don't like it, the part that's for me. Like if I'm like, I just want what I want to fuck you. I'm not picturing you being like, oh yeah, me. I just want you to not move, and I want you to lie there face down and be quiet and be still. So I was thinking maybe the doll will make you jealous, and then you'll want to do that more, or maybe it'll be an outlet for me. I think what I've realized with my sickening sexual experiences with the doll is that it doesn't really mean anything if the doll's lying still. It's not letting me have my way with it. It's not doing anything for me. When we've talked about this before. I know it's for me when you are just not doing anything. When you're not moaning, you're not like, oh, I know it's for me when you're not making it about yourself. And you have a tendency to make lots of things about yourself. I have a tendency to be very sensitive. If something's 89% for me, but 11% for you, I feel like it's just for you. Because you have a way of you fit 90% into that 11%. You have a way of really making that undermine the rest of it. Mm-hmm. And then when it's not for you, you get upset. And then I know it's for me. And so I realized the doll, you said the doll's going to cuck you, but the doll's cucking me. I'm taking that slave owner part of me, and I'm just taking it out on the doll, leaving you in the clear. I want an agreement where you will regularly lie still for me.
I see. It's an act of service.
I don't give a fuck what you call it. The more you talk, the more you ruin it. Because you're going to say, oh, I like doing an act of service. It's his love language. Okay, well, I can see how... Just shut the fuck up. I just want you to shut up and lie still. I don't want you to talk about it. I don't want to hear the mental gymnastics that you go through to try to absorb it into your nexus of manipulation. I just want you to lie down, face down, and be very still and very quiet until I'm done. And I want you to do this on a regular basis.
What does that mean?
Once every 2 weeks. To start.
Well, that doesn't seem that bad.
Okay, once a week.
Well, that seems bad.
Good. Let's do that. Once every 2 weeks.
Well, you just said.
I was joking about increasing the frequency because you said it didn't seem that bad. See, I don't want to be thinking about your needs all the time.
I see.
Constantly,
you don't want to care if it's that bad.
That's your job.
Right.
If you're like, oh, I don't want to get fucked in the ass, but you can do it every...
Scared the cat.
Oh, no. If you're like, oh, I don't want to get fucked in the ass, but you can do it every day. You can do it every day, but I don't want to. That's not my problem. I want fucking to be a lot more like jacking off.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes.
Well, I know.
Okay, so once every 2 weeks?
I don't know. I will have to think about this.
That's already more often when we have sex.
Yes, that's why I need to think about it.
Well, what can you do now? What can you commit to? Yeah, I need to think.
Well, for sure once a month, I would say.
Starting when?
Now? I don't know.
Right now?
Have we technically had our thing for April yet, or we have to fit it in the
Right
next
now?
day? Huh?
Right now?
Well, sure. The question is, what months are we going by? The calendar month?
I don't care.
Well, it's kind of important.
Not really, because it's April 29th. So it doesn't really matter.
Well, it does matter.
Shaelin, you see how controlling you are?
No, it's fucking knowing what you're agreeing to. If I'm supposed to agree to once a month and we need to fit one in real quick in the next day and a half, I think I should know that. You don't think so? Do you not get what I'm saying? Or am I not getting what you're saying? I don't understand what's going on.
I get what you're saying.
So then why are you not responding?
Because it feels like you're being controlling. And it's upsetting.
Well, I suppose so. Well, we can just wait to start it until next month then.
Okay.
Great.
Feels like you're being controlling. You're ruining it.
Well, this is the thing, is I'm not an actual sex doll.
Would you have agreed to doing it tonight and next month?
Probably not tonight, maybe tomorrow.
Okay, so what does it matter which way we choose? What does it matter how we count it?
Well, I have to know what it is.
Why?
Well, you can't just spring stuff like that on me. Maybe you want to, but it's
No,
not
I
how
didn't
work.
say I want to be able to do it whenever I say. We said once a month. That means I can't just do it whenever I say. But do you see, you're changing what we're agreeing to be something that you will fight and complain about. And now you're saying no to something I didn't ask.
Well, I think that in making an agreement...
I don't care. I don't care what you think. I want you to stop. I just want you to stop.
Well, I don't think we can make an agreement.
Why? You will agree to every version of the agreement. So all it's turning into... It's like if you're like, hey, shut up. It's like if you're like, hey, do you want to get pizza? And I'm like, well, which hand are you going to take the pizza out of the box with? This whole conversation is just all about whether or not we are going to have sex tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay. And so what you are turning this into by not just saying like, yes, let's start on May 1st. Do you see how that would be actually you asserting what you want and asserting your version of it, but also would not make the entire conversation about you and your discomfort and your fucking complaining? Or you could have said, well, April's running out. So if we're doing this in April, that means once tomorrow and then once next month. But you're not saying that either. You're pretending that you're like waffling or something, or that you're really concerned. And so you're like, well, I have a question. I really need to know this, Max, which you do every fucking time there's anything that I'm in charge of. Every time we're filming something, you're like, hey, should I wear this shirt? And I'm like, I don't fucking care what shirt you wear. Please shut up and just sit in the chair. And you're like, fine. It's a control grab. It's a power grab.
Come here, buddy. Okay. Well, let's start on May 1st then. And we will just do it by month.
Okay, so from May 1st. Okay, do you see what I'm saying about you being
I do.
controlling?
Yes, I do.
Now, you see what I'm saying, or do you agree that that's happening?
I see what you're saying.
But you don't think that's happening?
Right. I think you can frame it as controlling. I don't agree with that characterization.
You don't agree with the decision to frame you as controlling?
Well, I'm getting a bit frustrated because it feels like you have misled me a bit here. You agreed, you told me that we were having an interview about the sex doll.
Yeah.
And you're like asking me to agree to a sex schedule, which we kind of already rejected and tried once.
Okay.
And I don't know. It just feels like I'm open to trying that again, but like you're gonna put this in the video and I feel uncomfortable because I'm already in a very uncomfortable position of like not wanting people to fucking say our relationship is abusive, but you're like berating me about asking you a question about you asking me to agree to sex on a regular basis and be a sex doll.
No, I'm not berating you about asking me a question.
I asked you a question, you're saying that I'm being too controlling, so it seems like...
Do you think that you can be too controlling by asking questions?
I do, but you...
Okay, so the fact that it had a question mark at the end doesn't really determine whether it's controlling or not. Are we doing it monthly? Or are we do calendar month or every 30 days? That's not designed to actually get information out of me. It's just designed to put me in a new role of putting soothing balm on your upset emotions. And what I don't want to do, I don't want to be in the role of rubbing balm on your emotions. I don't want to do that right now. I want you to do that for yourself, and I will do it for myself.
I don't want to do this. I am quitting the interview, and I do not want any of this to be in the fucking video.
Okay. Because I'm asking you about sex plans?
Because you are shirking a role that you have agreed to take, I believe, throughout our relationship. Stop talking while I'm talking. You have agreed to a role in the past that is assumed you will continue to be in for this conversation as well if we're on camera together. And you can disagree with that. I don't care.
Every conversation we have on camera is me trying to get out of this role.
I don't care.
Well, do you agree with that?
No, I don't.
You don't think every conversation is me saying, like,
no.
Why can't you just say no or say set your boundaries or just admit to what's happening instead of trying to get me to do it for you? I feel like every conversation we film ends up being about this exact topic of me not wanting to be in this role.
Yes.
I don't want it to be a default.
That's fine.
Okay.
I'm saying you can't escape that because you have all the power and I don't agree to it. And you are trying to say...
So we can't have a real conversation.
No, not one that's filmed. You are always in the position of control.
Yes.
Yes.
Right, and you won't let me actually be in control.
No, I'm saying that as the person in control, you also have to be the caretaker to some extent.
No.
Yes, I know. You're saying no.
Yes.
And I'm saying yes. We've already been over this.
Okay, so then...
Okay, so that's what I think is happening.
Yeah.
On top of that, you are already kind of pushing my boundaries by asking me to do this.
I'm pushing your boundaries by asking you a question. By asking you for something sexual. I'm pushing your boundaries.
No, what you're asking me to do sexually pushes my sexual boundaries.
No, asking you to do something doesn't push your boundaries.
Okay, you can say whatever you want.
Yes, because you could just say no.
I understand.
I could ask you if I can drive a car up your ass, and you could say no or yes. It's not pushing your boundaries to ask you for something.
Okay, you're just not listening.
What do you mean by pushing your boundaries? It's not pushing your boundaries to ask you for something sexual. That's not pushing.
Asking me for something sexual on camera is pushing my boundaries. If I had known you were going to do that, I probably would have addressed that before we fucking got on camera, but I didn't know you were going to do that. You're saying I could just say no, but you don't actually understand because the way that you operate is different from me. And also, the way that the camera affects me, the way that the crowd affects me is very different. I am not comfortable with that, and you don't care, and you are actively trying to get out of the role of giving a shit about that. And my answer to that is no.
It's not that I don't give a shit.
I understand that you're distinguishing it differently. To me, that is what it translates as.
I understand that, but it has to be somebody's responsibility.
That's fine. I understand.
Your sexual boundaries have to be somebody's responsibility.
Yes.
And you want them to be mine. And
when we are on camera,
and want them to be mine and not yours.
Yes, when we're on camera,
yes,
to some degree, you are also agreeing to look out for me. Yes, you are. Looking
out for you is different from being solely responsible.
I don't think
for
that
your
you're
boundaries.
Solely responsible.
Well, then where were you? What have you done for your own boundaries throughout this conversation?
This part.
Okay, so now you're here. Except you're ending the conversation. So again,
because you told me I could get the fuck out.
Yes.
Right. So you threatened me.
I didn't.
And said if I want fucking boundaries.
It's not threatening you to tell you don't have to talk to me. That's not a threat.
It is a threat.
What is the threat? What am I threatening to do?
It's emotionally cutting me off from a project you asked me to be part of because I had some boundaries with you or asked you to
you're
be
not,
in a role you have agreed to.
That's not how boundaries work. You're trying to force me to do something. That's not what a boundary is. A boundary is, hey, babe, I really want to be part of your project. I'm so flattered that you thought that filming this interview would be so nice for your project. But you know what? I don't want to negotiate sex plans with you on camera. So if that's required, I'm going to have to leave the interview if that's the only thing that we can talk about. So was that your whole plan? Or can we talk about this later? Hi guys, we're going to talk about this later. But for right now, I really just want to talk to you about the doll or whatever else you were thinking, but I don't want to do this right now. That would be you setting a boundary. And then if I say, no, I really need to do this, or that's it, that's all I can do, then you would say, oh, well, okay, well then I guess I have to leave the interview. But it's not a threat for me to remind you that you don't have to do anything I tell you. It's not a threat. You're the one saying we have to do the interview.
Okay.
And that we have to do it the way you want.
I understand. You're saying it. I don't think there's a way for you to have me on camera on your channel without doing that.
Okay.
Okay, well, if that's how it is, then I don't see what else there is to talk about.
You're still trying to pressure me into doing what you want me to do.
Yes, I want you to do what I fucking said.
I need you to find a way to negotiate things with me that is not you trying to manipulate or pressure me into doing things that you want me to do. You've already defined this entire conversation as out of bounds, but you didn't mean that. Or you did mean it for a second, but now you've taken it back. And it's like all over I never know what I'm allowed to be doing or what I'm allowed to be saying, or if I'm allowed to be fucking raping you while you lie face down quietly, or if I'm not allowed to do it. And that's the whole point, is that every time we fuck, I don't know if I'm actually allowed to be fucking you. I don't know if I'm supposed to be fucking you. And I need to feel like I'm allowed to do it. I'm supposed to do it. You can cry. You've got some extra leather left over from your projects. Make yourself a little bit to bite down on, and you can fucking deal with it. I want to know that whatever you feel while I'm fucking you is your problem.
I know.
Okay. And same with this conversation.
I
Go ahead.
don't want to make agreements about our sex life on camera
Or off camera.
or off camera.
Okay.
That's true.
Okay. So are you rescinding our agreement?
I rescind. Well, I don't know. I don't want.
You like having a semi-agreement. You don't even want to agree that we don't have an agreement. Do you see how that leaves me feeling like I don't know where I stand with you?
I do. I truly understand.
Do you know how pathetic?
And sure,
do you know how
really Stop! Stop.
Do you know how pathetic it is? No, I'm allowed to do this. This I'm allowed to do.
No one's saying you're not allowed. I just want you to stop.
And you can't stop me.
I know.
Only Renee can stop me, and
just
she
mad at
can't. She
you.
can't move or talk.
I know.
Do you know how pathetic it makes me feel and emasculated that I don't get to know if I'm allowed to be in this conversation, if I'm allowed to be making this movie, if I'm allowed to do anything except fuck this corpse?
Yes, I understand. I truly understand. You can clearly see, I think, that I want to provide this for you.
You have to. You have
Again,
to.
you didn't say no.
You
didn't.
have to.
I don't have to.
I need it.
I know.
I need you.
I know.
I need you.
But even just the way you're framing it makes
I
it
need you.
feel rapey.
It is.
Well,
That's the
it
problem
sucks.
that's the problem with relationships.
Well, it sucks.
It sucks.
It sucks because
It sucks.
I don't do this to you. I don't think.
That's funny. That's rich. I can be warm to you. If you can be vulnerable in a way that is not making me into the bad guy. But if you start throwing me under the bus and you start making me out to be the abusive psycho, I am going to get very defensive. Can we agree to that?
I don't know. I mean, the problem is that you are making me out to be an abusive psycho. I was not calling you out for anything. I was asking you for fucking clarification.
When things get
It is
more explicit,
abusive of you to do that.
No, it's not abusive for me to call you abusive, you fucking monster. I'm asking you. The way you make people think I'm abusive without saying the word abusive or by doing anything explicit. It's a very subtle throwing under the bus, but it's happening, and I know it's happening.
I can't listen to you. I need to take a break.
Okay, do you want to play Smash?
No, I just want to be alone.
Okay. Can you tell me how much time is left on that camera?
677 minutes.